Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. I'm gonna do an update on Ethereum. There are three major levels of liquidations at the moment affecting Ethereum, and only one of them could get us out of this potential dead cat bounce where we are. If we could twist the arm of the current breakdown that I'm seeing on Ethereum, we could potentially go into the mid 3000s. But let's not act like retail, and the first question that you should be asking, wondering yourself, is where the hell is the risk? Sure, we can go into 3.5k, but how low can I fall? And how attractive is currently for market maker to fall? Those are just, they get me started in not being wrecked all the time kind of questions that you should be wondering yourself. If you want to learn how this market works, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I put out one of these videos. Yeah, this is the third week that I'm putting everyday updates, in-depth, dedicated videos to each single coin, major cap. That is despite of what direction the market is going. So if you do appreciate that and you want to continue to see it there and not just purely focus on Bitcoin, go ahead, hit the like on each one of them, write down comments, share the video, and I don't give a crap if you think I'm saying this too often. You can F yourself if that's the case. Or you can join my trading competition on BloFin. At the moment, you can win part of the share of $4.2 million. At the top of the description, there's a link that says trading competition BloFin. Just click that, hit the link to join, and there's a lottery and you can win also a Tesla Cybertruck by using the same link. Of course, open an account if you don't have one yet to get 10% cashback and 3,000 in future bonuses. Use also the link in the description. Well, as I said, we have three levels of liquidation and only one of them, if we get attracted to it, we're gonna get an easy ride. With the second one, we're gonna have a little bit of doubt on whether we are going to really go for the highs. And with the third one, it could get a little bit too painful to think that this is really not a dead cat bounce. When it comes to the news as well, I have two bullish news and one that is quite bearish, so stay for that. That is at the end of the video. So where are we? Well, we have a massive retracement on Ethereum of 66% within a bull market. And I was tempted to say bear market, but it feels like a bear market on Ethereum anyways. And this is a move of 107% up into the resistance. We call out this resistance and it's been so far playing it beautiful. Even if we claim it, we have already confirmed that has been resistance with so many weeks around the area. And if you've been living under a rock without watching my channel, you know that we say that going into this support of 2200 is a great thing to hold. So far, we are on the second week and we are still holding that level. We don't want to lose that level because it's been resistance in the past and it's been support multiple times too. But we had a last card under the sleeve, which we say was gonna be this golden pocket that goes from 2125 to 1945, and that level we just pinched it by the dollar. We were not closing inside because we reclaim the actual horizontal support. So from the point of view of the price action, Ethereum looks like it's still within a bull flag that anytime it can go to the highs. If we go to those highs, I also say that what we need to do is at the very least get in the golden pocket from the retracement from top to bottom. Why is that? Because it's been 66% down and we have managed to get there, but we haven't yet put a candle close inside, and I would like to see a candle close in this range from 2756 to 3071. By doing so, we don't confirm, but we increase the chances that this move up is not a dead cat bounce. Is it fully confirmed? Can you give it to me? Sign it? No, I'm not gonna sign anything. This is the world of trading, and depending how poorly you're managing your risk is probably the results that you're seeing. So in theory, what should come next, what we do want to be seeing on Ethereum is a move into 3k, roughly around that area there with a candle close weekly that shows a lot of strength. And in this area is where we have that liquidation that could attract the price to the upside, and is definitely the one that we need to hit ideally first. But here's the thing, if we look closely, we can see that there is this ascending trend line that starts hitting perfectly by the dollar from 4th of March. Then we continue twice to hit it there, then we hit it again here, again, and again. And on the 20th of June, we lost it, and now it has turned into resistance. So that is the thing that we need to get as soon as possible sorted out, because it's not just an ascending ascending trend line of resistance, but is also very close to the point of control of 2500. And that 2500 could be the last nail in the coffin to continue things bearish. Think about this. If this is an ABC correction from 28 to 21, this move into the yellow ascending trend line could be the perfect excuse to, at the very least, take the degens, the 5, 10, 25 X's that are currently located at 2K. Going below 2K is going beyond our golden pocket. So we should just, if we see some bearishness now and the correction continues and we are done with a C wave, that C wave should stop ideally above 2K. Can we go intra-candle during the week? Can we just squash up to 1500? Yeah, I guess so, but we need to close above 2K. That's the bit that you need to take away. By doing so, we are still in a retracement of golden pocket, which means that the bulls are still in control because this move up on Ethereum was extremely bullish. Then let them have less bearishness to the downside and then let's continue to the upside. That's kind of the idea behind it. And if we focus on RSI daily on Ethereum, you can see that we have this descending trend line, second one, and now we have a third one. The first and the second are basically, this one leads us into the highs of 4K and we managed to put a slightly higher high. This one in here is the beginning of this rally and we have already achieved 85. That is more or less the momentum maximum that we achieved in the first high, the first time we got into 1400 during this cycle. So now we are in the area that we should be looking for a bottom information. So that bottom information from the descending channel could be a breakout straight away from now that also claims the yellow line and goes straight away into 3K. That is the path to fast forward into continuation bullish. The second one could be a rejection from the resistance that is at 55. Currently we are at 53, so just 2 more points and we are facing resistance that is pretty obvious when we look at this line, right? We are at resistance, we have the point of control, we have the RSI, everybody on the street agrees that we are against resistance now. But why is that? We are at the same price we were before. Hey, before we were above support, okay? You can be at the same price, but support and resistance doesn't necessarily need to be an horizontal line, okay? Let's step up the game, and there are some lines that are with a slope, there is the momentum, and there's plenty of other things. So yeah, being at 25 is resistance, and if it manages to break our arm and throw us to the bin, here is where we're going first, 2K, or at least that is the biggest motivation, or we could say let's not go beyond that. It's not a forecast that this rejection puts the price there, therefore you put a limit order to take profit there, and then you come back and you say it didn't play out, you continue to be wrong. That's not the way we interpret things. We're just saying an ugly rejection from here has the potential to get up to here, at the very least, if it's a decent correction. Let's enable the 3x and let's see what's under the carpet. You've been hiding, you pretty bastard, here at around 1800. We have a second block, but these guys are 3x. Those are the conservative, the elite. They tend to know better what they're doing. After all, they started trading this range in here and they benefit from pretty much up only. Price, in order to get here, it needs to basically slap in the face the pros, assuming of course that there are still some of them that have the position open. And also notice that this is a combination of not just liquidity that started from here. Of course, it started increasing. There were plenty of positions that open at this range, plenty that open now at this lows of 2100. If we go here, we are basically slightly extended, overextended relative to the golden pocket, and we start doubting whether this is really not a dead cat bounce, right? It's an ugly rejection from resistance, or uglier to where we are. It's not the ugliest ever, but you know, being at around 1800 pretty much retraces all the gains. At that point, people are gonna be really excited to continue holding their short and looking for new lower lows. I don't blame them. So basically, we can say we have these 3 liquidations that take me to heaven quickly, the that's okay, I forgive you, and this one, can I go to the toilet and have a little bit of a puke? Something really didn't feel well when I was eating. And then you got this one, which is like, you know, F everything, let's go home. If we quickly look at the feature indicators on CryptoQuant that covers things from on-chain data and a lot more, not just TA, we can see that on Ethereum we are not necessarily seeing anything dramatically negative. And if you ask my opinion, I'm starting to see positive signs, despite the fact I was bitching around about my timeline on Twitter. I've seen a lot of things that actually surprised me in terms of activity, volume traded, the activity on the blockchain against other blockchains and stuff like that is starting to look good, despite the fact that on the 26th we have a little bit of a selling pressure here on the ETF, but then we kind of regain with 77, so it's all good. We are at all-time highs of cumulative inflows, so that's all good. Weekly, yeah, is against resistance. We are still talking about a potential rally into 67. You can see that the resistance on the weekly coming from the RSI is at 25.28. So every single stupid indicator is confirming that 2500 is now the resistance if we want to see a weekly breakout too. Now, if we manage to break this area and have our revenge rally into 67, that puts the price at 35.59, which is more or less meeting up with this descending yellow trend line. A lot more than just going into the golden pocket. Let's see. In terms of longs versus shorts, and I was about to miss this, how can it be? Look at this. We have this ascending trend line that we are holding as support and we are breaking down in here. I still call this area an area of value because we are very close to the line, and if we manage basically to fake out to the downside and reclaim, we can still go into resistance and start rallying into the top of the range. That is what we need to get into 3500 and into all-time highs. What I don't want to be seeing is that this week the shorts make the longs throw the towel and we get a rejection from the resistance now and we get a full downhill into the next level of value, which is more or less where we have the 2 percentiles, the lowest ones. That will be really disappointing because at that point probably Ethereum is even gonna struggle with 1500. It could get into 1200 or lower at these levels. In terms of socials, things are very quiet, but we are trending up. And what's calling the attention from the news on Ethereum? Well, we have an 8 out of 10 spot ETH ETFs pull in another 283 million in a week, which is what we just covered. That's about 1 billion, a little bit more. And typically you see a 4 to 7% weekly rally when you see these inflows. Then we have a second, a little bit less bullish, 7 out of 10. Bitmain immersion raises 250 million to build an Ethereum treasury, stock triples. A Nasdaq listed miner will convert fresh capital directly into Ethereum and stake it. Corporate balance sheet demand is sticky and can tighten float. So that is also pretty bullish, I agree, but we have one that is bearish. Let's see if it's a valid one. Well, cluster offloads 62,000 Ethereum, 154 million to centralized exchanges. That was spot on by Look on Chain. The same wallets withdrew 95,000 Ethereum from staking, then funneled more than 150 million into HTX, Bybit, OKX. Such exchange deposits often front-run short-term drawdowns. But hey, we are kind of heavier on the bullish side in this case. At least when it comes to inflows, we're talking about 1 billion, and this is more or less 10%, a little bit more of what helped the price go up. And I think that's why so far we're back into the same range. Of course, we took a bullet, we're breaking down, but we are at the same price. So all we need now is an additional bit of strength and we go into the top liquidation level. At that point, if we can close the weekly there without having a blow of top, at least within this range of the price, then I consider myself happy. Let me know what you think about Ethereum. Do you still maintain that vision that Ethereum is crap, or are you part of the people that think that Ethereum is going to have a big comeback in 2025? Let me know and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.